Okay, here we go. What we're going to do here is take the HTC Mozart and see if we can't open it up and sort out the memory. Here I have a 32 gigabyte microSD card, class 4, just been released by Kingston, I think, so very much with it being a class 4 SD card, hopefully give us the speed that we need to match the original 8 gigabyte SanDisk card that was in the phone when it came. Some of you may have already seen my previous blog article on taking the phone apart. Many requests for a video, so let's see how we get on when I show you how to take it apart. As you can see, the phone is functioning well on the 16 gig card, even though that's only a class 2, so I've been very happy. It's been running for over 5 days now without any problems at all, and the only issue I'm going to have here when I update this phone is that anything I've downloaded will have to be completely reinstalled. Reason for that is that the memory allocation in the Windows 7 phone is right across the card, so that it's not really treating it as a extra hard disk the way it would have been done before. That way, what we need to do at the end of the exercise, we'll need to do a hard reset. So if we just have a quick look before we start, I don't know if you can see that on there, but what we're looking at is a total available storage of 14.73 gigabytes, which is after the formatting of the 16 gigabyte card. Right. So what we start off by doing is taking the two covers off. Before I start, maybe just have a quick look at the tools. This is obviously the 32 gig card that arrived today. This tool is the Torx T6. I think it's a T6 times 50 with the Torx end on it. Very small screw, which lets us get through the security screws. A couple of star point screwdrivers for the two small star point screwdrivers that are included that we have to get through, and a couple of flat blades. Really they're just to help us ease the various parts apart. A pair of tweezers never comes amiss. Some of the items I'll have to show you separately because I've already had this phone apart, so there's various little bits of tape and stickers, but I'll try to remember to let you know what they are as we go along. So let's first of all switch the phone off, just holding down the top in the usual way, and there we have the goodbye logo coming up. So turning the phone over, what we have are the two triangles, top and bottom. The bottom one, most of you already know, is already accessible, and that is for getting access to the battery and the SIM card. Top one, similar in design, but it comes off in a slightly different way, as I'll show you in a second. So fairly straightforward on the removal of the bottom. Just grab the front of the phone, slide it, and we can move that to the side. I think before we take that out, we'll just have a look at the top. The top here is not a slide because obviously it sits over the camera. What I have done here is really just ease a fingernail into the gap. See if we can get it actually starting to move. Really, it's just gentle manipulation, and there we go. It's a little bit of purchase on that, and very gently just going in with my flat blades. We don't want to put too much pressure on the case at this stage. What we have got is a metal case. Here you hear a slight click, which is great. That's it, just starting to come through the tabs, and a usual sort of process of working our way around. We don't really want to mess with the switch there, so just be careful around that corner. And what we're doing here, as I say, is just gradually manipulating the edge of the phone. So if I just move this out of the way, give myself some room. Let's see, we're probably accessing things quite nicely here. Don't want to give it too much stress. The case is metal, so it does give us the opportunity to purchase a little against it, as so. And there we go. The two corners are now free, and we can just literally remove the top. Very much a simple process, but as you can see, it just takes some time, and it'll work quite well. Now, at this stage, let me just point out that when you do this yourself, this screw here will be covered with a very small, brittle void sticker, and that void sticker is something that will obviously let anybody else know that you've been into the phone. Really, at this stage, if you don't want to go past that stage, you're voiding the warranty. The warranty then is totally null and void, and really there's no going back at that stage. So, having the top off now there, we can open the battery compartment in the normal way, slide the battery out, and put that to one side. Now at this stage, I just point out this is a little bit of damage that I did from the first foray into the phone. What you will find is a sticker as such. I'm just going to put it back in place, just roughly. Roughly that will sit like that over your phone, and as you can see, it's totally removable in one piece. Once this is all done, I'll tidy this up properly, but essentially you're just removing that sticker, and that sticker is really covering up the mini USB strip connector. This is what you'll see connects a USB external port onto the PCB in here. So that's really one I've done earlier, so you'll spend a little bit of time just removing that. So I'll put that to one side. I think now at this stage we'll just remove the SIM card and keep that over next to the battery. Okay, so two security screws here and here, instantly accessible once you've got the battery component out. Just actually looking at that, what we need is a T5, not a T6. I might have posted it as a T6 earlier. This is exactly the same Torx screwdriver, so we're just going to insert that into the security screw, and make sure I've got some purchase. That's interesting. Let's just make sure this is right. Okay, so very gently, because it's a small screw with very little actual grip on it, so what you want to do is make sure that your Torx is well positioned inside the screw, and just go ahead and remove it like such. Let's see if we can just grab those screws and obviously make sure that they're going to sit somewhere relatively safe. As you can see, slightly longer one on the left than on the right. That's what we need to remember whenever we're putting it back together again. So as I said earlier, when you come to do this, the screw will be covered with a white sticker and the words void very clearly marked on top of it. I've already removed that in my previous upgrade, so, and in fact you can still see the remnants of some of the void sticker as I remove that screw. So again, set that aside up here. This one here, this last screw, is not actually a security screw, so we just use one of a small star point screwdriver. Insert there, and again, not very much movement to remove that. So there we have it. if you can see. So there we have the 4 screws that represent holding the entire body inside the phone. So we can be clear now that the mechanism is relatively free. And what you'll see in doing such, if I just push gently on the back, you can see that the front of the screen is actually what comes out. Be very careful at this stage that you've got your battery connector moved back into shape. And what we're going to do is we're just going to ease the front of the phone out. And what has happened there is that I've already taken the little USB connector out of its socket, and we'll see that going back later. Here we can see the little bit of damage that I caused the last time round, and that was because I thought perhaps that the SIM card, the SD card was actually contained in there. It looked remarkably suspicious that was the type of aperture we were looking for. Anyway, here's the case now completely removed. As you can see, it's all one piece, with the screen fitting through into the front, and with our USB connector. There's a USB port there, and there's the connector that connects to the PCB. So we can move that aside, and now we're left with the actual internals of the phone itself. Now, all that's now really holding this properly together, again, I just touch it very carefully and try and stay away from any of the electronic components. But we put it on this side and we have a look here, we can see another tiny star point screwdriver, star point screw. So what we do is simply, again with the very small set that we have, remove that, and that's a very tiny screw and one that you don't want to lose. So putting that up there. Now that is all that from a screw point of view that's holding it together. So what we're now going to do is again go back to the flat bed, and essentially the phone splits along this line here, so we can just gradually and carefully start working the tabs apart. So these tabs here are holding the phone in place. So just a gentle lever up, and just looking to see where you see there, just very, very gently we're able to get in, get some purchase with a small blade, and very, very gentle pressure starts to pull the side of the phone apart. So really this is where some strong patience is required, just to keep at it and not be forced into moving too quickly. Again, just gentle leverage on the tabs to start to release them, and we can start to get some degree of purchase. Here we go. And once you start to move it, as you can see, the openings start to become clear. We don't want to go too far in this side, as it's quite clear that it's got quite a lot of components very, very close to the surface. So I think really the only tricky part is the bottom of the phone, and certainly this area around here. So all we're doing is just gradually and carefully going around and looking at it logically. How are the tabs? There's another tab there. How are these tabs actually working to hold the mechanism in place? And just gradually looking to work it round. So if I just continue on like this, we'll probably cut this short in a minute and show you what it's like when everything has been pulled apart. I don't ever want to push any of this too hard, because there's no point in being super fast at this stage.